The desperate call the sky over Vara burned red. Commander Thal pressed his three-fingered hands against the command console, watching another shield generator explode on the surface below. His antenna twitched with stress as emergency reports flooded his station. The Horde had come without warning, and now his world was dying. How long until the shields fail completely? He asked. His second officer looked up, eyes filled with fear. 20 minutes, Commander. Maybe less. 20 minutes. Then the Horde would land their troops and slaughter everyone. The Jaren people were traitors, not soldiers. Their small defense fleet had lasted barely 10 minutes against the raiders. Now 12 Varen ships floated dead in space, torn apart by the Horde's weapons. Send the distress signal again, Thal ordered. Emergency frequency. All Galactic Union channels. Sir, we've been broadcasting for 2 hours. No one is responding. Thal's mandibles clicked in frustration. The Kaleri were too far away. The Thor were fighting their own battles. The Union's patrol fleets couldn't reach Vara in time. His people were alone. Then send it wider, he said. Beyond Union space. Send it everywhere. His officer hesitated. Commander, that sector is quarantined. The Deathworld species, I don't care. Thal slammed his hand down. Send it. The signal went out, carrying a simple message across the stars. Help us, please. Anyone not far from Vara. In a region the Union avoided, the signal reached Earth. Captain Jack Stone was drinking coffee in his ready room when the alert came through. He set down his cup and pulled up the message on his screen. The translation was rough, but the meaning was clear. Someone needed help. Lieutenant Beck, get in here, he called. Tom Beck entered, a young officer with sharp eyes. Sir, we've got a distress call. Planet under attack. Looks bad? Stone forwarded the data. How fast can we get the battle group ready? Beck scanned the information. That's outside Union space, Captain. We're not supposed to. I didn't ask about politics. I asked how fast. Beck smiled slightly. 30 minutes, sir. Make it 20. Commander Thal watched the Horde fleet advance. 200 ships, moving in formation like hunting predators. His world had no chance. Then his scanner officer made a sound of surprise. Commander, I'm reading jump signatures. Something's coming out of faster than light. Thal's hearts lifted. The Union sent help? I don't know, sir. The signatures are strange. Very strange. Space rippled. 12 ships appeared near Vara's orbit. Thal stared at his screen. These were not Union vessels. They were thick, angular, covered in heavy armor plates. Weapons bristled from every surface. They looked like flying fortresses, built for war. What species is that? He whispered. His officer checked the database. The color drained from his face. Sir, those ships match the quarantine files. They're from Earth, the Deathworld. Fear shot through Thal. Earth, the planet of nightmares. A world so dangerous that its own species evolved to be killers just to survive. The Union had locked down that entire sector to keep them contained, and now they were here. His communications panel beeped. An incoming call from the lead human ship. Thal accepted it with shaking hands. This is Commander Thal of Vara. Who am I speaking to? The voice that answered was deep and calm. This is Captain Jack Stone, Earth Defense Fleet. We received your SOS. Where's the fight? The casual tone shocked Thal. The Horde was minutes from destroying his world, and this human sounded like he was asking about the weather. The Horde, Thal said quickly. 200 ships. They've destroyed our fleet. Our shields are failing. We need... Copy that, Stone interrupted. Hold tight, Commander. Help has arrived. Thal watched as the Horde fleet detected the human ships. The raiders changed course, moving to surround the small Earth battle group. 200 against 12. The Horde leader sent a transmission to the humans. Thal intercepted it. "Leave now, primitives, or die with these WEAKLINGS." Captain Stone's response came through every channel, loud and clear. "Negative. You have one chance to withdraw. Leave this system immediately." The Horde laughed. Actually laughed. Then they opened fire. Thal closed his eyes, expecting the human ships to explode or run. But when he opened them again, his breath caught. The human ships weren't retreating. They were charging straight into the Horde fleet. Weapons blazing, the Deathworld way of war. First human ship took 3 direct hits and kept flying. "Commander," Thal watched in disbelief as plasma bolts scorched the vessel's armor, leaving black marks but no real damage. The ship didn't slow down. It accelerated. Their shields ... His officer stammered. "They barely have shields. How are they surviving?" "Armor," Thal whispered. "Pure armor." The human ships were built like tanks, covered in metal plates thick enough to withstand impacts that would vaporize Union vessels. They had to be. On Earth, everything was designed to kill you. Even their machines reflected that brutal world. The lead human ship, Stone's flagship, fired its main guns. The sound came through the vacuum as vibrations on Thal's sensors. Solid metal slugs, accelerated to incredible speeds, punched through 3 Horde ships in a single line. The railgun rounds didn't stop. They kept going, tearing through hulls like paper. "What kind of weapon is that?" Thal's officer asked. "Kinetic," Thal said, scanning the data. "They're throwing metal at near light speed. But that's primitive. That's effective." The Horde tried to surround the human ships, a standard tactic. Overwhelm with numbers. But the humans didn't fight like any species Thal had ever seen. They didn't maintain safe distances. They didn't use elegant energy shields and precision strikes. They brawled. A human destroyer accelerated directly into a Horde cruiser. Thal expected a collision, but at the last second, the destroyer rotated and fired thrusters. It scraped along the cruiser's hull, railguns firing at point-blank range. The cruiser split in half. "They're fighting like animals," someone said behind Thal. "No," Thal corrected. "They're fighting like predators." Captain Stone stood on his bridge, calm as ice. "Beck, status on the Denver?" "Hull breach on deck 3, sir." "Crew sealed it." "Still fighting." "Good. Tell them to focus on the cluster at grid 7. Another explosion rocked the ship. Stone grabbed a handhold but didn't sit down. He never sat during battle. "Sir, the Horde is trying to flank us," Beck reported. "Let them try. Weapons. I want nuclear missiles on that carrier. Time for them to understand what a Deathworld weapon looks like." 6 missiles launched from the Lexington's tubes. The Horde tried to shoot them down, but humans had been building missile defense for centuries. These warheads jinked and weaved, their AI calculating trajectories faster than any organic mind. 3 reached the carrier. 3 nuclear explosions ballooned in space. When the light faded, the carrier was gone. Stone smiled grimly. Next target. Commander Thal watched the human tactics evolve in real time. They learned, adapted. When the Horde adjusted their formation, the humans changed theirs instantly. When enemies tried long-range combat, humans closed the distance. When enemies tried close combat, humans were already there waiting, and they were fearless. One human ship lost atmosphere. Thal saw the air venting into space, the hull punctured. Any Union crew would evacuate. The humans kept fighting. They put on suits and stayed at their posts. "Why aren't they abandoning ship?" his officer asked. "Because they can't," Thal said quietly. "On a Deathworld, you don't run. You fight until you win or die. The human Marines arrived next. Drop pods fell from the human ships like rain, punching through Vara's atmosphere. The Horde had landed ground troops near the capital city. Now humans were landing to meet them. Thal pulled up the surface cameras. The human soldiers moved fast. Too fast. Vara's gravity was only half of Earth's, and the humans bounded across the battlefield like they weighed nothing. Their powered armor made them look like walking war machines, each one carrying weapons that fired explosive rounds. A Horde warrior, twice the size of a human, charged at a Marine. The Marine didn't retreat. She stepped forward and fired her weapon from 5 feet away. The Horde warrior's armor shattered. She moved to the next target without pausing. "They're protecting the civilians," Thal's officer said. Watching the feeds. It was true. The human Marines had formed a defensive line around the Varan population centers. They weren't conquering. They were defending. One group of humans found Varan children trapped in a collapsed building. They stopped fighting and dug them out with bare hands. Gentle despite their strength. Then they turned and fought the Horde with renewed fury. The battle lasted 3 hours. When it ended, 90 Horde ships were destroyed. The rest fled into faster than light, running from only 12 human vessels. The humans didn't pursue past the system boundary. They simply stopped. Captain Stone's voice came over the channel. "Commander Thal, this is Stone. Enemy forces have withdrawn. Your planet is secure." Thal sat down slowly, his legs weak. "Captain Stone, you saved us." "Just doing our job, Commander. We heard someone needed help." Stone paused. "Permission to send medical teams to the surface?" "We've got doctors ready." "Permission granted." "Captain, thank you." "Don't mention it." Stone out. Thal looked at his crew. They stared back, silent. The humans had done the impossible. 12 ships against 200. And they'd won. What kind of species was humanity? The Deathworld reputation. B. Human medical teams arrived 3 hours after the battle ended. Commander. Thal watched them work in the capital city's hospital. They moved quickly, efficiently, treating Varan wounded with gentle hands. The same hands that had killed Horde, warriors without mercy, now bandaged children and comforted the elderly. One human doctor, a woman named Dr. Kate Ross, worked on a young Varan who'd lost an arm in the attack. She spoke softly, reassuring the frightened child, while her machines regrew the limb using advanced medical technology. "Your people are confusing," Thal said to Captain Stone. Stone stood beside him, still in his combat armor. "How so?" "You fight like demons, but you heal like angels." Stone smiled. "We're human, Commander. We do both." Outside, human engineers helped rebuild the shield generators. They worked alongside Varan technicians, sharing knowledge freely. The humans seemed genuinely happy to help, but Thal noticed something. The Varan people kept their distance. They were grateful, yes, but also afraid. They had seen what humans could do. 5 days later, the Galactic Union Council convened an emergency session. Elder Mirror represented Vara. She stood before the council chamber, surrounded by holographic projections of leaders from a dozen species. "The humans saved us," she said simply. "They answered our call when no one else would." A Kalari counselor, made of pure energy, flickered with concern. "They also violated the quarantine. Earth was sealed for a reason. They are dangerous. Dangerous to their enemies," Nira countered. "Not to us." A Thorn representative, his armored body massive even in hologram, spoke in a deep rumble. "The reports from Vara are troubling. Humans fight without fear. They use weapons we consider barbaric. Nuclear devices. Kinetic projectiles. They board enemy ships and fight hand to hand. They won, Myra said. Against impossible odds. That's what worries us, the Kaleri said. What if they turn those weapons on us? The debate raged for hours. Some wanted to welcome humanity. Others wanted to strengthen the quarantine. A few suggested preemptive action destroying Earth before humans could spread. Finally, they voted. By a narrow margin, humanity would be offered Union membership, but with restrictions. Captain Stone read the Union's offer in his ready room. Lieutenant Beck stood nearby. They want to limit our military, Stone said. No more than 50 warships. No nuclear weapons. No kinetic artillery. Basically, they want us defenseless. What will you tell them, sir? Stone deleted the message. I'll tell them no. Beck raised an eyebrow. Sir, this is a chance to join the galactic community. Trade, technology, knowledge. At the cost of our ability to defend ourselves? Stone shook his head. We didn't survive Earth by letting others dictate our strength. Then what do we do? Stone smiled. We make them a better offer. Commander Thal met Captain Stone on Vara's orbital station one last time before the human fleet departed. The Union turned you down, Thal said. He'd heard the news. Actually, we turned them down, Stone corrected. Their terms were unacceptable. Thal's antenna drooped. So you're leaving. We'll never see humans again. I didn't say that. Stone pulled up a holographic document. Here's our counteroffer. We don't join the Union. We stay independent. But we establish a new agreement. What kind of agreement? An emergency response pact. When someone needs help, real help, life or death situations, they call us. We come, no political strings. No bureaucracy. Just results. Thal read the document carefully. The Deathworld Armada. That's what we're calling it. Earth and any other species that wants to join. We'll be the Union's first responders. The ones you call when everything else has failed. And what do you want in return? Trade access. Technology exchange. And respect. We're not asking to be feared. We're asking to be treated as equals. Thal extended his hand in the human gesture. I'll recommend the Council accept this. Stone shook it. Good, because we're tired of being locked away like monsters. 6 months passed. Another distress signal went out from a distant world. Pirates were attacking a mining colony. The colony's defenders were losing badly. Then the pirates. Sensors detected ships jumping into the system. Human ships. The pirate leader stared at his screen in horror. He'd heard the stories from survivors of the Horde. Stories about the species from Earth. About their brutal efficiency. Their fearlessness. Their unwillingness to surrender. Retreat, he ordered immediately. Full speed, now. The pirates fled without firing a shot. On the colony, the miners cheered as the human fleet approached. Captain Stone sat on his bridge, watching the pirates run. Lieutenant Beck grinned beside him. They're learning, sir. They're learning, Stone agreed. Send a message to the colony. Tell them they're safe. Tell them the Deathworld Armada is here. The message went out across the galaxy, spreading from world to world. When you're in trouble, when all hope is lost, send out the call. The humans will answer. They always answer, because that's what Deathworld species do. They survive. They adapt. They protect those who cannot protect themselves. The galaxy had wanted help. They got humanity instead, and the universe would never be the same. The end asterisk.